Hey, this is Kirk.
And this is Byrd. It's the Kirk and Byrd Show with Coach Troy Taylor of LC Byrd in the 804. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on, y'all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you on, Coach. We are super excited because we know practice has started. I know you got a scrimmage on Thursday, maybe, or Friday. This is part of our high school preview. We're going to be doing the 804. We're going to have some other coaches on, and we're also going to do an analysis. So everybody, please subscribe to us, the Kirk and Byrd Show, BYRD, on YouTube. And if you look for us, we're on all the platforms. I'll set Coach Taylor up because Coach Taylor is a Wise County guy, which is where my mom is from, and my family's been there forever. My grandfather was a coal miner. Coach, you went to Appalachia?
No, sir. I went to LC Byrd High School. My dad went to Appalachia, but I went to sir.
That's right.
I went to Punch Valley College.
Yeah, you went to Punch Valley with UVA Wise now. Okay.
Yes,
all right. So, yeah, just to get started off, you made the playoffs last year. You lost a very good Douglas Freeman team. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your outlook for the upcoming season?
This season, we have a little bit more of a clear of an outlook than we did the year before because in the spring, we pretty much had a senior-dominated team, and we didn't finish out too good. But we were really good on the JV team. So last fall, we pretty much played with our JV team from the year before, with some guys who, had started as sophomores and stuff. Yep. So this year, we pretty much we know what we have, and we're excited about getting going.
Right. Okay.
Coach, so that was that COVID season when you talk about that spring. That was a very difficult year for a lot of folks. And so that COVID season, what was that? Was that your third season at Byrd?
Yes, sir. It was my third season at Byrd, and I don't know what all the rules were up there in Northern Virginia, but around here we were very limited with what we could do with our players in the off season, and that's really, working with our players in the off season and having that commitment and buy-in. That's pretty much what we established our program on because we have three things that we hang our hat on. The first one is that we're going to change lives. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to get them to the next level. And then the third thing is we're going to make champions for life. So you really can't do that when you're not around your players. I know there's some schools, the kids have personal trainers, either they have parents that could run practice. We didn't have that, and I think it kind of hurt us. So once we got more back into the routine, I think it was a little bit better for our program and how we do things.
Right.
Yeah, no. Yep, I can understand, definitely.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your team, like the offense, the defense, what you think your strengths are. What kind of offense do you run, Coach Taylor?
Traditionally at LC Byrd, since about 1983, there's been some great coaches at LC Byrd. Yeah. The first one was Tom Bratton, who went on to be the head coach at Highland Springs and went on to be the offensive line coach at Northwestern and at the University of Maryland. So he's a great coach. Then Coach Peachy took over. I think he went on to coach college football at Liberty. And then they brought in Coach Schrotenboer from Michigan. He was from Alpena. They actually consolidated the schools or got rid of the football program. He brought his whole staff down here, and that's why we have the Michigan helmet, kind of like Western Branch used to have. I think they brought it back. They brought that. And they brought that Michigan style of football and running power football, kind of like the coach Schembeckler that was up there in Michigan. They kind of brought that down to Byrd, and we've always had those wings, and we've always been a power style running game. And pretty much always been an even front, like a 4-3 cover, 3, the monster defense. So we're pretty traditional.
Coach, what years was he there? The staff and group from Michigan? What years were those? Are we talking about?
That was from 1983 until 1991. In 1991 was Coach Schrotenboer's last year, and they lost to Halifax in the state championship. Halifax went undefeated.
Yep.
And then Coach Ron Paquette was the next coach. Coach Paquette was my coach from my freshman year to my senior year. And Coach Paquette was there from 1992 until 1999. Then he became the AD, and Coach David Bedwell, who's from Fairfax and went to JMU, he became the head coach. The season before he became the head coach, he had been the head coach at Henrico High, and they had lost the state championship. So Coach Bedwell was the head coach at LC Byrd from 2000 until about 2016, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, a really good friend of mine. I went to VCU, so I know a lot of folks from Byrd, but one of my best friends, Galen Royal, he moved from Pittsburgh area. In his senior year, he played at Byrd, and he graduated '87. And he has a brother, Sean Royal, who played at Byrd. Came out in '88, I believe, and went on to play at Bridgewater. So, yeah, I've been familiar with that program for years. And have always followed you guys. I also have a cousin from that area, that Chesterfield County area, and I don't know if you know Sam Young, but he's very instrumental. He used to be very instrumental in a lot of the youth football. I know with the program that starts with a W. His kids went to Thomas Dale, but anyway,
Wells.
Yeah, Wells. He was
Wells.
president. Yep, and he coached out there for years.
Yes, sir.
And he was on the staff at Thomas Dale. So this season, what are you looking like? We know with the style you guys kind of run, but what are we looking in terms of the talent? What are some of your expectations coming off of a playoff season last year?
In our offense, we lost our center, Corey Chavis. He went to Averett. And then our running back, Trevor Schultz, he went to Virginia State. And we had another slot, Christian Braxton, he went to Virginia State. So it's about 3 guys off the offense that's gone. So we got 4 offensive linemen back. We got both of our number 1, number 2 receivers, Jay Sean Amin and Xavier Carpenter are back. And then our quarterback's back, who was a sophomore. His name's Brad Hurt. So, we're excited about our offense. And, defense, we've made some more changes because my brother was the defensive coordinator, but he's retired from coaching. And Coach Matt Bland, who played with your buddy, I think he graduated in '87 from LC Byrd. He went to West Virginia and played, for Don Nealon. They lost in the national championship to Notre Dame. So he's back running the defense. Yes, sir.
It's a great team.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's pretty much traditional Byrd football and a bunch of Byrd guys.
Right. Now, Coach, when you look out at your schedule, I looked at your schedule. When you look out at your schedule, we talked before we went on camera about we're trying to get a good picture of the 804 because we want people to know that we don't just do the 757 and the 703 up here. We know how good football is in the Richmond area. But tell us a little bit about your schedule, the schedule that you play, the district, and then I know you're going to play Thomas Dale, which is only one of a couple of Division 6 teams up there. I mean, how do you feel your schedule stacks up as far as a team developing from scrimmages? How do you feel the journey will be?
Sir, we start out next Thursday. We're going to be scrimmaging Benedictine High School, who they're always really strong, and they got a bunch of D1 guys.
Yep,
a great coach over there, Greg Lilly. I mean, they win the state championship or play for it almost every year in that Virginia Independent Schools.
Yep.
I think they lost by 1 point to Trinity last year, and then we're scrimmaging in Meadowbrook. We used to play them in the regular season. I was the head coach at Meadowbrook, so kids enjoy that. It's kind of like a little rivalry. So we don't have room for them on our schedule because they added Powhatan into our district. So we reached out and we want to scrimmage Meadowbrook. So we're kind of doing like a 3-way scrimmage, and then we go down and we scrimmage Dinwiddie. And Dinwiddie's coached by Billy Mills, and they've been a powerhouse for a long time. He's been there since 2005, I believe. And it's one school, one county, and Billy Mills is the mayor of Dinwiddie. And they're tough, man. So that's who we scrimmage, and then we open up with James River, who's really, really well coached.
Right.
team, and they've beaten us the last 2 years, and so we're really just focused on getting better for James River, and then usually we play Thomas Dale early, but Thomas Dale has a bye week later in the season, and there's the county fair in Chesterfield, so we always had to play them away, so we moved the game to week 9, so that'll be a big late season game, big rivalry game. And then we play Monacan, and then we play Midlow. So they're always playoff teams, and they're always well coached. There's a lot of good coaches in programs around here.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You got within your district. What is it? 3 Division 6 teams in there. I know Thomas Dale, Cosby.
It's kind of confusing down here because they don't do it by county. Right. So Thomas Dale is actually not in our district. They're in the Central District, but they are 6A. Then Manchester is in our district because you got the south of the river. You got the Central and Dominion districts. So I think James River is a 6A, and they beat Thomas Dale in the playoffs last year. And then I don't know who they had to go on and play. I don't know, but Cosby, I think they had to play Oscar Smith in the playoffs. Yeah, that was tough.
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean,
we got a lot of Oscar Smith fans. We watch
we scrimmaged them we scrimmaged them 3 years ago. My second year, we couldn't find a scrimmage, so we went down and scrimmaged them. That was his first year down there, so that was tough. That's like playing the New York Giants.
Yeah, man.
I want to ask you, Coach. Just now, everybody keeps their ear to the ground, and it's a brotherhood with the coaches and all that. But statewide, what do you see like in, let's say, 5 and 6? So, like with your Division 5, what do you see? We know who the players are, but what do you think the outlook is there?
I mean, if you're from Richmond, you know about the East End.
Yeah.
And in the East End, that's where the airport is. And those schools near the airport, they're pretty good now. And that's Highland Springs and that's Verona. You got Henrico there too. So, that pretty much Division 5 and Division 4, unless it's Stonebridge, it kind of goes over there near the airport.
Yep.
And then Division 6, I mean, Thomas Dale, they're always one of the most talented teams. And everybody knows that, Oscar Smith, I think they won 2 state championships in a row, probably played in, I don't know, 6 in a row. So, it's and so 5A is kind of like Stonebridge and Highland Springs, and 6A, there's always a great 6A team up in Northern Virginia. It used to be people like, Westfield or Oakton or, I don't know who. It seems like it's always somebody.
Centerville.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Hilton. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Colonial Forge, too. I mean, Colonial Forge is one of the top 6As.
Stafford County is unbelievable, man, because that county is growing. But, man, North Stafford, Brook Point, and Colonial Forge are unbelievable. So you were telling me that you think your wide receiver is pretty special. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him? And he might be somebody that jumps out and gets a Power 5 offer.
Well, his name is Jayshawn Amin. And Jayshawn, he started as a sophomore. And then he started last year as a junior. And if you just look at his film, I mean, it's just explosive play after explosive play and touchdown after touchdown. Our quarterback was a sophomore, and it's just throw it up, and Jayshawn gets it. And he's a kid. He smiles. He's got dimples. He's got braces. The harder it is, the more he likes it. So, I mean, he's 5'10", probably 150 pounds, but he's a football player, and he's a guy who hasn't peaked out. He'll continue to get better.
Right. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. Coach, so I said we're going to bring you back on to profile you specifically, but we have a little bit of time left. I just want to find. So, tell us about your background. You attended Byrd. What time frame, and then what was your career? What did you do after that?
Okay, I went to LC Byrd from 1992 to 1996, and we were lucky enough. My sophomore year, we went undefeated, and I was on the JV team. Got pulled up, and we got beat by Lee Davis. And then my junior year, we went up there to play Annandale, And that's when Annandale, I think, won 2 state championships in a row.
That's right. Yep.
Like, can't remember those guys' names. I know one was Maurice Daniels. He was an inside backer. And then they had awesome running backs. Giovanni Santa Ana, I think, was one of the guys' names. Then my senior year, we lost to Verona in the regional championship. So, Byrd's always been a proud program, even though, the school opened in 1978 and Byrd didn't win their first state championship until 2012. But there's always been some great football teams coming out of Byrd. So now I went to I have a twin brother named Tony. We're fraternal twins. We're not identical. We went to Clinch Valley College. And then after college, we really didn't know what we were going to do. So, we thought about going to law school, but, a guy named Mike Merle, who's still on our staff at Byrd, he was the freshman coach. He told me and my brother, he was like, hey, man, y'all should come out and coach, because it was a new coach. Coach Bedwell, it was his first year. So, I came up there to Byrd, and I became the JV offensive defensive line coach right out of college. My brother became the 9th grade JV and 9th grade offensive line coach, defensive line coach, and I was hooked. So, I got asked, Troy, will you go to Meadowbrook to coach? And I said, well, if they give me a teaching job, I'll go. Because Patrick Kane, who was the head coach at Hermitage, he was an assistant at Byrd at the time. He took the Hermitage job, and he coached Dwayne Brown, was young over there at Hermitage, and he coached the quarterback that went to UVA. I can't think of his name right now, but I went over to Meadowbrook and I coached. And in my 4th year over there as assistant, we won the state championship. We upset Tyrod Taylor when he was a sophomore. They came to Thomas Dale, and we got lucky enough to beat them. He beat us, man. He threw the ball back across the field, and the guy went in to win the game, and one of our guys stripped it out. And lucky enough, they caught a touchback. And that was the first time I think a team from Richmond actually beat Hampton High, the Crabbers. Wow. Yeah, so that was crazy. I was there at Meadowbrook as an assistant from 2001 until 2008. I was lucky enough to coach guys like John Graves that went to Virginia Tech. He's the captain. He's assistant strength coach at Mississippi State right now. He got a shot in the league. I coached Morgan Moses. Morgan Moses is starting off the tackle for the Redskins. Jets now. It signed like a 4-year deal with the Ravens. Another guy named Brandon Ross, who played in the league for the Packers. He's a scout for the Packers now. We had some great teams. And we built a great program, but it came that time when, people were asking me, Troy, when are you going to be a head coach? When are you going to be a head coach? So, a great booster and a great friend, Gary Lunsford at Amelia County High School, got me and my brother to come out there. And I left Meadowbrook as an assistant, and I went out there to Amelia, and we were lucky enough to win 5 games. But then the next year I went back to Meadowbrook as the head coach. So I was at Amelia 1 year, 2008, and then I went back to Meadowbrook from 2009 till I think it was 2014. And then I kind of felt like it was time for a change, and ended up going to Virginia Union for 3 years with Mark James, who's from Fort Lauderdale. Great friend of mine.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun. But Coach Bedwell, he became the AD, and he brought me back to Byrd because I was a Byrd guy. And, I just feel like I got to do a good job for, Coach Bedwell and those Byrd guys that brought me back here.
So Coach,
that is great.
Before we wrap it up, I got a really good question for you. But I'd be remiss if I did not point out that maybe the most notable alumni from LC Byrd is Vince Gilligan, who is writer, director, and producer of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. That's pretty cool. He's class of 5. So
I saw that.
Big shout out to him. The last thing I wanted to ask you before we wrap up, and we really appreciate you coming on, and we again, ask people to subscribe to the Kirk and Byrd Show. Just look us up YouTube. Is this. How do you feel about the 2 new staffs at Virginia Tech and UVA? I don't know if your recruiters changed. There's been a lot of change, but I know those staffs are really working the state hard. How's that been, Coach Taylor?
Well, you just talk about Virginia Tech. I love J.C. Price. And, I thought J.C. Price was going to get a shot to, be the head coach. But I'm just so glad that he got to stay on. And all the high school coaches in Virginia love JC so much.
Yep.
And when Coach Pride got the job, I understand why. Because Penn State's been coming down here and stealing all our players. So, hey, why not get a coach from Penn State to maybe get our guys to stay here in Virginia? Because I'm a Virginia guy. I like Virginia and Virginia Tech. I root for them both because usually we got players on both sides of the field when they play. So when it comes to UVA, I have a great friend there named Blanda Wolf. And Blanda was lucky enough to get a chance to go up there with Coach London. And he's still there. And they were real smart to keep him. He's really tight with all the high school coaches in Virginia. And, Tony Elliott, I've only had a chance to meet him 3 times. He came to our school one time, and then he came, spoke at our coaches clinic, the championship football coaches clinic, the biggest coaches clinic in Virginia. Coach Pry, he came and spoke at our coaches clinic. The ODU head coach, who I also love, Coach Ronnie, he came and spoke. So we had the entire Virginia Tech, the entire UVA coaching staffs at our coaches clinic, which was at the end of February, and we'll be doing it again at the end of February next year. But Tony Elliott, just when you hear his story and what he's been through, I don't know if y'all know much about it, but how his mom died on that street, and then Coach Sweeney invited him over to his house with his wife, and it turns out that the name of the street that Coach Sweeney lived on was the same exact name of the street that his mom had died.
I did not know that.
Did y'all know that? Okay, check it out on YouTube. Yeah, so I mean, I went up there and I got a chance to go watch UVA practice, and I was so impressed with Coach Elliott and how he coaches on the field. Both sides of the ball. He coaches every rep, and he says that he just doesn't coach to a person's talent. He coaches to their heart, and that means something to me. Because everybody. The big deal is about recruiting, whether it be high school, college, or getting to the next level. And this guy's transferred to that school, and this guy's transferred to whatever school. That's really not what we build our program on. We're not going to hang our hat on transfers. We're going to hang our hat on developing young men. So, I think that Virginia and Virginia Tech are in good hands. And it's fun to have an excitement and young coaches that are bringing fire to our state. So I'm all about guys staying and playing in Virginia. I'm a Virginia guy. I don't think you need to go to Alabama to go to the NFL. I don't think you need to go to Florida State. If you're good enough, they're going to come get you. You can stay here in Virginia. Your high school coaches can come watch you play. Your parents can come watch you play, and you can go to the league. So
that's right.
Yeah. Totally agree, man.
Some people might not like to hear that, but I really don't care.
That's not crazy. I'll let you close out, Rusty. I'm Virginia Tech. I bleed orange and maroon, but Rusty and I both have so many UVA ties and friends, and I get into the rivalry a little bit, but I want UVA to do well, except for when they're playing Virginia Tech, and they've got that's a great tradition there. They've got a lot to sell. And I think we're going to get back to a lot of head-to-head battles like we used to. Sean Moore was a head-to-head battle. Maurice DeShazo was a head-to-head battle. And I think we'll get back to those. But, Rusty, you want to go ahead and close us out?
Yeah. Hey, I just want to thank you again, Coach Taylor. We have got to have you on. You know your stuff. You make great points, and you show the enthusiasm that we have. Like, that's how we started this show, because of our love for football, the state of Virginia. Like Kirk said, Kirk went to Tech. My brother played middle linebacker at Virginia Tech. I went to grad school at UVA. So I'm loving all this, and then I'm really excited about ODU these coming years. But thanks again for joining us.
Thank you,
and
man.
I love that you got pride for your school, bro. Like, you see me, I'm rocking that.
Yeah, Big Bethel.
That's right. That's right. So good luck this year, Coach. If we can get down to a game, we'll let you know.
Yes, sir.
And nothing but the best. If you ever need anything from us, reach out to us. If we can help promote something or help you with the fundraiser, anything you're doing, let us know, Coach. But you really blessed us and our audience today, man. Really have.
Thank you.
Go Seahawks.
Thank you.
That's right.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Coach. This has been the Kirk and Byrd Show with Coach Taylor from LC Byrd. We are out.